Website fox17online.com. Andy Curtis, Fox 17 News.
Andy, thank you. A West Michigan man now headed to prison after stealing thousands of dollars from Gun Lake Casino while working there. According to U.S. Attorney Mark Ty and Jordan Lewis Cook, he's a 26-year-old from Hopkins, stole upwards of $100,000 from that casino. Shortly after he was hired, Cook started stealing money from cash-out kiosks around the gaming floor. We're told an internal casino audit along with surveillance video and Cook's bank records were what led to him being caught pocketing that cash while he was supposed to be clearing those jammed machines. Town announced on Wednesday that Cook was sentenced to 4 months in federal prison, 2 years of supervised release from theft from a travel organization. He's also now being asked to pay more than $84,000 in restitution.
The families of two people who drowned while on vacation in South Haven are now suing the city over allegations of negligence. 19-year-old Emily McDonald and 22-year-old Corey Ernster drowned in South Beach in August of 2022. Authorities said that bystanders pulled those two out of the water and tried CPR before they were taken to a hospital. According to the lawsuit, the city was aware of the dangerous lake conditions at that time, or at least should have been. More than $25,000 in damages is being sought for medical, funeral, and burial expenses, in addition to physical and financial suffering from the incident.
A man convicted of sexual assault and killing a West Michigan woman has now died. And this morning, we're learning that he confessed to even more crimes while on his deathbed. According to the Kent County Sheriff's Office, they spoke to Gary Artman 3 times before he died of lung cancer a couple of weeks ago. Details of those conversations not yet being released, but the agency does say they're now working with other investigators in West Michigan to see if he's tied to any other homicide or missing persons cases. Artman sentenced to life in prison back in September for the murder of Sharon Hatmack, who was found dead in Caledonia Township back in 1996. A break in the case arrived in 2019 after DNA samples linked the crime scene to Artman's family. 2 former aides of a Michigan House Speaker have now been arraigned on multiple charges, including conducting a criminal enterprise. Those charges stem from Annie and Rob Minard's alleged role in the misuse of funds from 3 nonprofits and a political action committee, or PAC. It reportedly happened while the married couple was serving former House Speaker Lee Chatfield. They've received 6 charges collectively, as well as 2 separate counts for Annie and 1 for Rob. Both have pleaded not guilty. I'll be back in court on January 19th. Time now, 6:09, still ahead this morning.
We are down the road from 4 breweries, and some of the cars that have come off have been drunk drivers. That's the bigger scare for me.
We'll see why these homeowners feel vulnerable after some close calls with cars nearly hitting their homes.
And here's a look at our feels like temperatures or our wind chill factors out there this morning. We're in the mid-teens in some locations. We'll take a look at what's in store for the rest of this week, our weekend, and your Thursday ski report coming up after the break.
Well, we want to wish Addison a happy 11th birthday. Happy birthday to you. How about he's Lynn turning 8 years old. We got Jersey turning 5 years old. Happy birthday to you. We've got Johnny turning 6 years old. Big smile for him. And Nee turning 9 years old. Happy birthday. Addison again, 11 years old. We hope everyone has a great birthday. Haslin, there you go, 8 years old. Sorry about that. We hope you have a good birthday. Send it to us if your child has one coming up.
Unsealed court documents reveal the names of some high-profile people linked to Jeffrey Epstein. Those records pertaining to a years-old lawsuit connected to the late financier. Former President Bill Clinton mentioned more than 50 times in those filings. Lawyers for an alleged victim of Epstein said that Clinton could provide important information about the defendant's relationship with that late millionaire. Former President Trump and Britain's Prince Andrew are also named.
The White House now suing Texas over the state's new immigration law. The legislation would allow Texas police to arrest migrants who illegally cross the border. It also gives the judges the authority to force migrants to leave the country. The Biden administration argues that the law is unconstitutional since immigration is a federal responsibility.
President Biden is facing renewed criticism over his administration's response to the Israel-Hamas war. A senior Education Department official is stepping down from his position due to the conflict. In his resignation letter, he claimed the administration was turning a blind eye to the atrocities committed in Gaza. In a separate letter, more than a dozen Biden campaign staffers warned the conflict could cost Biden voters.
Well, man in Portage on a mission this morning to make a stretch of road near his home more safe for everyone driving nearby.
He has been pleading with the city to install a guardrail, saying the solution they provided instead just isn't enough. We first spoke with Mike Van Team about cars veering off of Portage Road and into his yard last December. Well, now there is some progress. The city of Portage has installed these delineators last month, telling Fox 17 they're supposed to help guide traffic and keep vehicles on the road at night. And during severe weather, they're still visible to drivers. But Mike has little confidence in a traffic post. He feels the only thing that will work is a guardrail and for people to stop speeding.
The last two crashes happened before dusk, so I don't know how that's going to help. My youngest daughter was in the garage when that car plowed into that tree. I was in this sunroom just on the other side of the garage when the car took out the fire hydrant.
Well, the damage that he's referring to was when a car stuck over bushes and had water flooding his property. Well, the city says they're working on long-term plans for the area in the next 2 to 3 years. Mike says waiting that long is not worth risking his family's safety.
Good morning, everybody. It's 6:16. It's a Thursday morning. Let's take a look at your ski reports. We have Bittersweet and Cannonsburg that are both closed. Boyne Mountain has 1 inch of new snow with an 18-inch base. They're open. Cabernet Peaks, 25-inch base. They're open. Crystal Mountain is open with an 18-inch base. 36-inch base at Nubbs Knob. They also are open. Here's a couple of more. Shanty Creek is open. 1 inch of new snow, a 30-inch base. They're closed in Swiss Valley, the Homestead, and Timber Ridge. The Highlands is open with a 28-inch base, and Treetops with a 20-inch base also open. And our weather headlines this morning, some sunshine returns today. We'll break up some of that cloud cover and see some of that sunshine. Weekend light snow showers, maybe some accumulations on grassy areas, but that would be it. But we're still watching, tracking that bigger storm next week, Tuesday night into Wednesday. It looks like it's mainly going to be snow now. This system is starting to move to the south and east by a couple of 100 miles, which puts us in the cold air section of that storm system. So it may be several inches of accumulating snow. More on that here momentarily. As we look at live radar, we're dry, except for a few flakes and flurries just north of Grand Rapids. We're 25 degrees in Grand Rapids, Ionia, Allegan and Hastings, 30 in Muskegon right now, 23 in Big Rapids. There is a little bit of a breeze out there producing wind chill factors, especially along and east of US 131 in the middle teens right now. So it's chilly. That's what you want to dress for. You could see overnight we had a few snow showers, flakes and flurries along and north of I-96. The pavement in my subdivision actually had a sheen of ice on it. So watch out in some areas coming out of the subdivisions there. Everybody, they have to actually lay down some salt in some of those locations as well. But we've got lots of clouds stocked in, but I think we'll break that up as we progress through the morning hours.